Hello, and welcome to another episode of Empowering Equality, the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada, or IWSCC's podcast on all things supplier diversity. I'm your host, Alex Dirksen, and I'm so stoked to have a conversation with today's guest, Mr. Jay Mandarino. Welcome, Jay.
Hey, Alex. It's a good skateboarding term. You're stoked.
Yeah, I am feeling it. I'm so thrilled to get to know you a little bit better and to get to know your business a little better. Speaking of which, Jay, you're a business owner, and your business, CJ Graphics, is an IWSCC certified supplier. Can you tell us a little bit about CJ Graphics and what you do?
Sure. We're the world's most awarded printer now in the world, which is amazing. So over 6,500 awards. We have 37 companies under one roof, just under 250,000 square feet, with the world's largest indoor not-for-profit skate park inside of that too, which is always funny when we're doing
fantastic. A little
skate park,
we're a little work in the morning and a little recreation in the afternoon.
Exactly.
So it sounds like as such an awarded printer and such a big organization, you probably serve like a big range of clients. Is there like a particular kind of client you usually work with?
Yeah, nice people. No,
that's a good way to go.
We have some different tiers. So we have an automotive tier, so we deal with a lot of the major automotive companies. We have an entertainment tier, so we deal with mostly entertainment film companies such as Universal, Warner, Disney, and all the companies. And then we have a finance one, so we deal with all the major banks and financial institutions. And then we have a variety of different things, not-for-profit, deal with a lot of not-for-profit companies. And we do a lot of toys. So we deal with Barbie, Mattel, of course, does that, Nickelodeon, and Ninja Turtles, Spin Master toys. So we work with a lot of the toy companies, which is so pretty fun clients. And then we don't think of this as a drinking problem. It's a drinking solution. We deal with a lot of the liquor and spirits and beer and wine companies. And we do a lot of everything from printing to labels to packaging, so boxes, custom boxes, to signage and displays. That's the biggest growth area. And then we have a mailing house, so we do mailings, and we're a secured facility. And so our business cards, everything. We started doing business cards in my basement of my parents' house 41 years ago.
Interesting to hear sort of you've got such a wealth of projects, like the big and small, and to hear that you've sort of come around to maybe like one of these smaller things is really actually pretty fascinating.
Well, it's funny because, we started with doing business cards, and some people still think of us as a business card printer. Millions of them, right? But, they come in and they see the place and they go, oh my God, I don't know if I can afford this business card.
Yeah, so that's one big card.
There was a magazine, one of the top print magazines at the time, and they had because we've done work for the Vatican, we've done work for the Queen when she was alive, of course. When she came over here, we did the invitations. And so they the article had a picture of the Queen handing a business card to the Pope, which was kind of neat. And I kid you not, the phone was ringing off the hook for like weeks, and I would get the most interesting people phoning. Like and some people were phoning from their own jets, and they thought, hey, I saw this article about you. I want to do some really unique cards and something different, because it talked about one of the cards where it was a peanut butter company and they wanted it to smell like peanut butter. So we fooled around with the links and we actually got it to smell peanut buttery, which was kind of neat.
That's so cool. Man, bringing the science in with it.
The Harbourfront here in Toronto, we did all the signage. We did the whole Black Lives Matters exhibition, and we get involved in some really cool projects, which is neat.
Yeah, such a big range of
Very
projects,
diverse.
big range of passions.
Never bored.
Yeah. So what you're so busy now, and you've had a lot of success. Sounds like there's still a lot of growth happening too. What brought you to where you are now? What led you to start your business and to become an entrepreneur?
Well, that's a really good question. I guess it goes back to, so I do this 1 hour lecture, which I'm going to do in 3 minutes right now for you.
All right,
when I was
start
9, you set the clock. When I was 9, I attempted suicide. I had no self-esteem. I couldn't read or write, and it was just a terrible experience. I was put in special ed, and people laughed at me. Even when I was going to the class to try to read something, I couldn't really read it, and I pronounced it wrong, and people laugh at you. And, kids can be cruel. They don't mean to be, but it happens. So they put me in an institution for a while and put me on Ritalin, and basically told my parents that I would never amount to anything in clinical words, basically said, forget high school, forget university, forget like a real job, maybe work at a gas station as a gasoline attendant, and with hope, maybe I could be an assistant mechanic, but that's all they should hope for. And they wanted to put me in a halfway home for criminals, basically. So luckily, my parents didn't listen. They pulled me out. They did some more research. They found a doctor who finally figured out I had dyslexia and a bit of ADHD, though I think everybody's got a bit of ADHD. So it was the first time they sold their house. I went to this private school in the States that had 5 students per class, and we all had the same challenges. I get the word problem, but challenges. And so you felt normal, whatever normal is. So I met my first best friend, and he taught me to ski and skateboard. And it was really amazing because it wasn't a team sport. So I wasn't competing against anybody, although I did end up in a couple contests. But I would do it like 8 hours a day, and I got so good that I was actually the first person to roll a hippie jump a Ferrari in 1976. They actually made a tech deck of it. I'll put it up here for viewers. So that's on Yonge Street, 1976. So
nice.
Hippie jump. So basically the car is here. I'm going along the skateboard at fairly fast speed. I jump up, the skateboard goes underneath, and I hopefully don't hit the car and land on the skateboard.
The board went under the car?
Yeah.
Rad. Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah. It's funny though, the kids, we have the world's largest indoor skate park, not for profit, work with every kind of challenge and every kind of diversity you can imagine, because there's no barriers in skateboarding. And, they go, hey, I can't find that on YouTube. I go, hey, we didn't have YouTube back then.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, but hey, we have tech decks today.
Yeah, exactly. And a Canadian company. We don't realize that. So it's been a choice. It's awesome. But
Tech Deck's a Canadian. Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah, wow. They bought it. Yep.
Holy moly.
Canadians everywhere. People just don't. Americans just don't understand it.
Weird.
They think Russia's an American band. It's like crazy. But, so because I was able to go to the special school and do well and get self-esteem, and plus the skateboarding helped, I was able to go to high school, and then at university, York University, I was part of a pilot program, so I got extra time in my exams. So and now I have my own company and won all these awards, and so it's like I never took. You can't do anything. To me, it became a challenge, but it's. And my best friend's like so shy about it. He says, "Thank you." No, thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It sounds like you went from finding a peer group that helped you feel like you fit in and go through a lot of transformation and find your own path, to now you're helping build peer groups for others. And kind of speaking of peer groups, you're also your business is an IWSCC certified business.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about, like, in your words, what that means to be IWSCC certified? I'm
sorry, we can't discuss that.
No. Strictly, I signed an NDA.
It's really rewarding, and we're very glad to be part of it. And it's brought, we have different people here. We have people on the spectrum, and we have people that have different challenges, and other people don't necessarily know that, but they know we're very accommodating. We work with whatever, however we can make it work for you. And it's just interesting as people slowly find out about this, they go, that's pretty cool. And we end up advocating really for everybody else, not ourselves. Because I think some companies, and I'm sure you've heard me say this before, possibly if you had the last talk, people are skeptical of maybe using someone who has a learning disability or a physical disability or, whatever, speech. But, the truth is they probably work harder than whatever regular people are. So as a business, it's tough for, especially, often there's small businesses, right? Or you even take some of, it's not just the disabilities. We have, war veterans in there, and it's tough for some of these people to get into companies. So with this organization is allowing those opportunities to be heard. And I think, employers have to be more diverse. And I think it sends a message out there to encourage other people to do that, and encourage working with people in your organization that, may have not got that opportunity to do that job or just were looked over. So it's, I think it's really important.
Yeah, definitely. We want to see more diversity in our workplaces, and, the IWSCC, for the folks at home who might not know about us, or if this is the first time you've heard about us, we're the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada. We work with fantastic businesses like CJ Graphics, disabled-owned and veteran-owned businesses, help connect them with opportunities with purchasers and get them more involved in the supply chain, because we want to see Canada's whole business ecosystem working with entrepreneurs as well, who might be from diverse groups and might have experiences that you might not expect. Jay, you mentioned the idea that some people hesitate if they hear that someone is disabled. I know that we work with veteran-owned businesses as well, and they a lot of veterans struggle to they get all this experience in the military, and then to kind of connect that with the civilian side of things can be a real challenge as well. So there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of lived experience and a lot of professional experience that can provide value. People who spend, just like you said, spend a lot of time working hard to find ways to fit into a world that might not necessarily be built for them. And what that makes is people who are super tons of ingenuity, people who are super creative, people who are super dedicated, super resilient, and that makes a great business owner. Those are all qualities that are going to make a fantastic entrepreneur. And so CJ Graphics, obviously as the most awarded printer, has had a lot of success, and I'm sure has faced a lot of challenges too. For a business that's as big as yours, do you feel like being IWSCC certified, has it had an effect on CJ Graphics or on you being part of the IWSCC?
So, I think we're doing more work for other members.
Oh, interesting.
In a sense that when you talk about big banks and big organizations, they have such a strict policies and adhere to security protocols. A small company couldn't do that. So we're working on one potential project right now with someone, and hopefully it goes through. And I'm taking probably 3 or 4 IWSCC members because they each have something they can contribute. Because one of the things is we're talking about signage and Wayfair for buildings, and we do Braille, so we can do CNIB stuff. But there's so many other things that you can make if you want your building to really be fully accessible to all sorts of disabilities. And some of them are quite simple. They're not expensive. And so as a team, they can come under the CJ Graphics umbrella, and we can go in there and everybody can bill me and I'll pay them. We don't mark it up, of course. But, it will give an opportunity to get into some of these larger organizations, because sometimes it's just a matter of getting in there, getting one job. But some of them, you have to be this approved vendor, so it's tough. What's great about you guys is you're getting us into places that, we wouldn't normally get into. To get into a large organization, you either have to know somebody or you've worked for somebody before, and it's like a whole process to do that, right? And a lot of people are trying to cut down suppliers instead of add suppliers. So the IWSCC has done some great jobs in getting people listen. And, with the round table, and we get 5 to 6 minutes to speak and talk about our services. And it's a great idea, and I think it's fantastic and gives people opportunity they would never have had. So
that's great. I mean, hey,
there's my endorsement for IWSCC.
Excellent. I will take
Send
it.
It's too.
Always great to hear. Glad to hear that it sounds like we've got the right idea, that we might be on the right path. And
more honestly, so you're changing the way that organizations are thinking about, hey, you know what? We're spending some money on stuff. You know what? We should give everybody an equal opportunity, right? Shouldn't just be going to people that aren't disabled. Like, let's get, so, and I think it's working. We can see it in some of the, I know there's a bank involved that we were already approved vendors, so that was nice, but I know they're looking at it.
We work together with other supplier councils. We're not the only one here in Canada. If you're a diverse entrepreneur out there, a person of color, a person with a disability, a veteran, someone from the 2S LGBTQIA community, and so on. If you're Indigenous Canadian, there are groups out there that are doing the same things that we're doing, and trying to help connect business owners like you with more opportunities. Honestly, Jay, you bring up a great example of one of the biggest reasons that we exist and why we want to do this is not just to connect business owners with the big corporations. Of course, we want to do that. We want to get them more involved in Canada's supply chains, but also because when you invest in a business that's part of a peer group, you create a snowball effect. Your business has had a lot of success, and now you are your own diverse purchaser. You're building your own diverse supply chain, bringing in other entrepreneurs and giving them that opportunity that helps them earn that experience that might be keeping them out of the big, daunting world of procurement. and giving more opportunities. So we kind of see that snowball effect branch outward just from what started with one investment. It's very, very cool. I kind of have a couple other questions that are maybe a little more on the personal side that I always like to end off with. But before
62.
we dive into those, I honestly, and I'll admit, I feel like we have the answer to one already, but it'd be great to hear more about it. Do you have anything else that you'd like to sort of say to our listeners about yourself, about CJ Graphics? Do you have anything exciting coming up? We always
do cool projects, but it's not about us. It's really about, everybody, right? Helping all them. So that's our main reason. So we want to help all the members that can get opportunities and who want to give up, especially our veterans who, I think it's like 62% or something have post-traumatic stress from coming back from these situations, which really none of us can really imagine what it's like. We haven't been through it. So, whatever we can do to help our fellow members would be great.
Excellent. Right on. Well, so I still have kind of my little lightning round, some quick questions, because I know entrepreneurs are busy people, but they're people too. So my first question, this is the one where we might have a little bit of an answer already, but when you've got some spare time, some downtime, some time to yourself, what's your favorite hobby, Jay?
Let me think. I don't know.
What could it be?
Playing with skateboards or actually riding real skateboards. I teach young children. I do adult classes. So yeah, skateboarding
Excellent.
and skiing. Yeah. And spending time with my wife, of course.
Of course, spending time with family. If you do adult classes, hey, maybe one day I'll hit you up. I feel like learning to do a kickflip is kind of on my bucket list. Well, I grew up in the age of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and I've been obsessed ever since.
It's pretty impressive.
Very, very cool. My next question is a personal one to me. So in another life, I was a fry cook, a humble fry cook making breakfast for people.
I have to get you this, though. So that's Tony Hawk did the forward for me. So I wrote a book on skateboarding, how to skateboard.
Oh, and he did the forward of the book?
Yeah, because it all goes to charity. He's a great guy.
Amazing. Yeah. He that's great to hear. He seems like a pretty cool dude. So when it comes to breakfast, my own personal passion, what would you say if it's like the way you always start your day or just your favorite way to start your day? What's your favorite breakfast food?
Favorite breakfast food?
Mm-hmm.
It depends. My wife makes some amazing oatmeal and just some creative things.
Good, yeah. A humble option.
Seeds and cereal and stuff. But, on the weekends, I like to have real bacon, eggs, sunny side up, whole wheat toast dry, and tomatoes and lettuce if it's possible.
Oh, man, you're every fry cook's dream, the gold standard, good old bacon and eggs. You
with hash browns, well done too. Sorry.
Oh, excellent. Right. Double fry them.
You got it. Which they don't like doing.
Excellent. And my last question for you today, Jay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
For our listeners, for our audience, maybe for some hopeful entrepreneurs out there, what's a piece of good advice, whether it's for business or just for life?
So for all you viewers who are watching, you'll notice there's a green screen behind you. You notice that Alex also has green, and I'm a third Irish, but that's not why it's all green. And I'm not sure if Alex has Irish background at all. Maybe you do.
Unfortunately, no. But
you probably know someone from Ireland.
I do. I know a few.
Shalante. So don't have a green screen that doesn't work when you're doing podcasts. So I guess the number one thing I always tell people is never give up. Always believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself, no matter what you want to do, what you want to be. It doesn't matter. We're all human at the end of the day. And ask for advice. I was lucky that I was able to ask people, and you have to come out of your shell a bit, but people want to help. People generally want to help and give good advice. So ask. They're there, and surround yourself by great people, and you will do great.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jay. It was wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you. It was wonderful being on the show.
Excellent. Yeah, love the opportunity to get to know our community a little bit more, and thank you to our audience for joining us for another episode. Empowering Equality is it's hosted by the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada, or the IWSCC. We connect disabled-owned and veteran-owned businesses with opportunities across Canada. A big thank you to Pod Supply for producing the episode, and to our sponsors RBC and Bell. As our 2024 ASL leader, RBC helps us provide American Sign Language, which you'll see if you're catching this episode on YouTube, for our show, for all of our events. And they do that. We accomplish that with support from champions like Bell as well. If you want to learn more about the IWSCC, you can visit us at www.iwscc.ca. If you want to learn more about CJ Graphics, Jay, where can we find you?
Right here. Look for the green screen. www.cjgraphics.com. So CJGRAPHICS.com. And if you want to do skateboarding, CJ's Skate Park, that's with 2 S's, so CJS, and then skatepark.com.
All right. And you'll find those links in the description. We'll share those around with everybody, future entrepreneurs and future skaters alike. If you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, follow the show, follow IWSCC, follow CJ Graphics. Thank you again so much for joining us. Ask for advice, never give up, and keep on empowering equality. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Chase your dreams.